if you try to rush through it. Just because you can get lucky and do over leveraged trades and you get this new equity high, all of you out there saying, oh, I want to get a $500,000 funded account. The fuck you do? You don't have any idea how to trade a $10,000 account right now. You can't even manage that risk. You're talking about you want $500,000 in a funded account. You want to be able to trade with $500,000 leverage. You're gonna die. You're literally gonna blow your brains out. More money is not how you fix this. It's more experience, growing gradually. I'm telling you, I'm fucking telling you, you are not gonna do a $500,000 funded account and do well. If you think you're just going to go up there, pass the challenge and get that on your first go, you ain't been trading for a year or 2 or 3. You think you're just going to go out there and do that? I'm telling you, I'm telling you, don't think like that. You're doing it wrong. What's the lowest funded account? Go that route. Trade with that, build that up. Because if you can't build that $10,000 or $20,000 leverage funded account up to a $500,000 account in 2 years, guess what? You sure as fuck wouldn't have done anything with that $500,000 account. You're not prepared for it. You have no idea what it feels like to be in those types of trades. That's why you see everybody, they put their little certificate up, said, I got funded. And then 2 weeks later, I blew it. I'm not talking down to you. I'm talking to you. Eye to eye. You're doing what I'm telling you what not to do. And so many of you are in line to do the same bullshit and hurt yourself and prolong this whole process. What's the lowest hanging fruit objective? Do. And as the money grows, more money will be allocated to each trade. The percentage of risk is not increasing. That stays constant. And as the equity grows, the results will grow comparably. And you don't get sucked into this, I have to do it right now. I got to have it all right now. No, you don't, because you're not prepared for it mentally, psychologically. You can't handle it. You can't. You cannot handle that type of success. When a winning trade like that gets put on, you're not going to be able to sleep. You'll be out of the trade. I'm telling you, like no doze. You ain't sleeping. Like a crack fiend, okay? Scratching yourself. Like that Dave Chappelle meme. You want another hit. You want a little bump. Because it's exhausting. And I've had that happen so many times. And it's demoralizing when you realize that's what it was. And that's what you're creating. You're creating that habitual drug usage feeling in your trading. That's not how people do it that are doing this for their lifetime. Career traders are not looking for that bump. They're working their business. They're running their business. They're managing their business. It's not casino time to them. They're going in with the intended purpose. They're not winging it. They're not being influenced by other people. They're not telling them it's not good enough. They don't give a fuck what anybody else thinks. They're doing what needs to be done for them, because every one of us has a unique threshold for pain and pleasure. Some of you are a little bit kinkier than I am. In trading, you have to know where your thresholds are. And if you start stretching yourself outside those boundaries, which you're going to learn, as soon as you start trading with live funds, you're going to see how hard it is to hold on to a winning trade. But it's easy to hold on to a losing trade. Why is that? You don't want to submit to a loss. But you really want to get out of that winning trade because you think it's the only one that's ever going to happen to you. You found the unicorn, and you want to make sure you have evidence, and you want to bring it back and show it to your friends and family, your coworkers, your boss. Ha! Look at this fucker. You said I wasn't ever going to make any money. Look at this. Stick that up your ass. That's what you want. So what are you trading for? Outward validation. Professional traders don't give a shit what anybody else thinks about them, or their trading, or their abilities, or their model, or how little their threshold is that they go for every time they put a trade on. See, in the beginning, you have to have that structure. You have to have that limit placed on you. They're training wheels. And don't let anybody tell you that they're not useful or needed, because they are. Why else is everybody else blown out? Because they have no structure, no limitations placed on themselves. It's 2% risk, no stop. Let's go. And I have no limits on how many times I can take a trade. If I take a loss, I'm going to go back in again because I have enough equity, and I'll keep doing it until I can't, because I know eventually I'm going to get a winning trade. Not taking in consideration that they have no structure. They have no low-hanging threshold to make ends meet. So they're just going in to throw the dice and see if they get a win, because they know in their mind they're going to go in and manage that winning trade correctly now after taking 5 losing trades in the same day. The fuck you are. Folks, I'm telling you, these are things I did. Not just once, dozens of times. And you got to know that you're not going to be exempt from it. And believe me, this might be an uncomfortable conversation that you don't want to be listening to. You want to get to the part where it feels good. That ain't got kind of serious, folks. This is where the rubber meets the road. I already taught you how to trade. Now I'm telling you how to survive. Because having that 50 caliber Barrett, you could still hurt yourself. There's a whole lot of people out there that buy all the next best things and gadgets and things, and they still are useless because they haven't properly been trained. Your intelligence as a trader, just because you now know this model and you know what it looks like and how to find them, your intelligence as a trader is infantile right now. You're still an infant. You're a baby. And that's not a knock against you. You have to be aware of that. And you have to take baby steps. And then you start moving towards where you're walking a little bit more efficiently without anybody holding your hand. And then eventually you'll get stronger and more coordinated. And then you can run. And then you become an adult. And you have all that adult muscle and capability and stability and agility. All those things that lead towards you are able to do things that a small child can't. And right now, as a small infant in your understanding about the markets and your personal experience, you can't grasp the importance or the weight of the things I'm talking about right now because you haven't endured it yet. But once you do, these types of lessons mean much more. And that's why these yahoos that get out there and say, oh, these guys, he's just going on and on and on. He ain't talking about nothing. That's how you know they ain't made no fucking money. They ain't never made money. The people that don't want to have conversations like this and talk about these, this is the real world. This is what real trading is about. It's not pushing a button, winning. Hey, holla, up there on Instagram, look at me. Here's my rented Lamborghini. Here's my rental flat that I don't really live in. Come on. Here's my fake watches. I ain't going to zoom in because you don't see it's fake. This is the same bullshit, man. You guys like all that stuff because it's entertaining. Well, I'm not trying to entertain you. I'm trying to turn you into a fucking monster where you go in there and you say, you know what? I don't give a shit if you fire me tomorrow. I don't give a shit if this business I work for closes the fuck down next week. I don't care. I'm feeding me and mine. There ain't nothing you're going to do to stop me from doing that. Period. Nothing you can say about it. I don't give a shit what influencer on the internet says anything about me. I'm still going in here and fucking kids. Nothing stopping that. And nothing stopping you as my student. Nothing. It's just air an opportunity between you and you getting that realization of that profit. That's it. That's the only thing separating it. But you have to make that move. And you can't do it just jump out there blindly. You got to have a structured approach to it. And you're all going to have a different approach, period. What's your low threshold objective? It might be $500 a week. It might be $100 a week. You might be a stay-at-home mom. You don't need a whole lot. The husband's taking care of everything. You got a big nest egg, but you want to do this on your own. You want to contribute. You want to feel like you're bringing something to the table. You know what? That's admirable. And you might be thinking, all I have to do is make $100 a week and then let that grow and build up. Man, in 2 years, you could still be doing amazing returns if you let the compound effect take root. But you have to submit to that part of that time. That's why, again, I get back to working with a year of mentoring. Mentoring for a full year is crucial.